Then I will move on to parts of today's lecture, and I finish it next week. Okay, so here you see our lecture outlines. Today I'm going to tell you more about project management. And I would like to remind you that I will give grades during the penultimate and last lecture. I rewrite the marks from the grade from the project. And attendance at the lecture is not obligatory. Okay, so outlines of today's lecture, some information, basic definition, project and product life cycle, project goals, and a few words about project chart. And the concept of the project has been known for a very long time. Already in the antiquity, great buildings were made on the basis of detailed one-off technical and organizational plans, detailed tasks and principles of managing constructor work. And could the Great Wall of China, the pyramids or Stonehenge have been built without the project management? I don't think so. It is possible to say that the concept of project management has been around since the beginning of our history. And okay, so what is a project? A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to produce a unique product or service. And there are many written definitions of a project. All of them contain the key elements described above. For those looking for a formal definition of a project, the Project Management Institute defines a project as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or a result. The temporary nature of project indicates definite, defined beginning and end. And the end is reached when the project's objectives have been achieved, or when the project is terminated because its objective will not or cannot be met, or when the need for the project no longer exists. To explain the concept of project management further, think about all the projects you encounter every day, both in business and your personal life. At work, you might build or contribute to a deliverable like a report or website, a tool or product, or even a building. At home, you might make a meal, plan a vacation, or even work on upgrades to your home. These are just a few examples of true projects that have a defined start and end, date, goal, scope, and resources, and they all require some level of management. In business, I'm sorry. In business, project is typically a unique operation conducted to meet specific goals. And here you see an example of a project. Developing a new product or service, affecting a change in the structure, staffing, or style of an organization, developing or acquiring a new or modified information system, constructing a building on its infrastructure, or implementing a new business process or procedure. And let's think which one is a project. Of course, dinner with girlfriend or her 22nd birthday, because it's temporary and unique. A project exists in all organizations, in public sector organization, business organization, non-governmental organization. Why? Because organizations are open system. They have to respond to both internal and external changes to meet their development agenda, to satisfy customer, just to survive, and to solve problem and grab opportunities. And what is project management? Project management is the application of skills, knowledge, tools, and techniques to meet the needs and expectation of stakeholders for a project. And the purpose of project management is prevention and prevention, no recognition and reaction. In simple terms, project management means the process of leading a team to hit goals on complete deliverables within a set time frame. And project management includes identifying requirements, addressing the various needs, concerns, and expectations of stakeholders, and balancing the competing project constraints. And what does a project typically include? Identifying requirements, addressing the various needs, concerns, and expectations of stakeholders as the project is planned and carried out, balancing the competing project constraints, including but not limited to scope, quality, schedule, budget, resource, and risks. And what is portfolio? A portfolio refers to a collection of projects or programs and the other works that are grouped together to facilitate effective management of that work to meet strategic business objectives. And for example, an infrastructure firm that has the strategic objective of maximizing the return on its investments may put together a portfolio that includes a mix of projects in oil and gas, power, water, roads, rail, and airports. And from this mix, the firm may choose to manage related project as one program. And the projects or programs of the portfolio may not necessarily be independent or directly related. And the program is defined as a group of related projects and managed in a coordinated way to obtain benefits and control not available from managing them individually. And key points of programs may include elements of related work outside the scope of the discrete project in the program. And a project may or may not be part of program, but a program will always have projects. And definition of program management. So program management is defined as the centralized, coordinated management of a program to achieve the program's strategic objectives and benefits. And key point of program management: projects with a program are related through the common outcome or collective capability. And here you see an example of a program. An example of a program will be a new communication satellite system with project for design of the satellite of the ground station, construction of each, integration of the system, and the launch of the satellite. There are a few words about project management methodologies. There are a stack of different project management methodologies, and you could apply to different projects. But knowing the difference between them and how to know which is the right methodology to use can be tricky. Here you see a few project methodologies: waterfall, critical path method, critical chain project management body of knowledge, Scrum project management, Kanban, extreme programming, adaptive project framework, event chain methodology, Prince2, lean project management, and Six Sigma. And here you see a short overview of a few project management methodology. So about a few words about Agile. Agile is collaborating to iteratively deliver whether works. Scrum, enabling a small cross-functional, safe managing team to deliver fast. And Kanban, improving speed and quality of delivery by increasing visibility of work in progress and limiting multitasking. And one more important project management methodology, waterfall, planning project fully, the executing through phases. The project management methodologies are just tools to help us deliver a project. And selecting the most suitable project management methodology, as I said, can be tricky. It depends on so many variables, many of which are outside of our control. What matters is to a commitment to doing quality work that meets user needs and delivers great value to our clients. And a few words about project life cycle. A project life cycle is a collection of generally sequential and sometimes overlapping project phases. It provides the basic framework for managing the project, and the project management lifecycle describes the high-level process of delivering project and the steps you take to make things happen. And here see a few phases. First, a project life always has to start somewhere, and the problem that needs fixing needs to be defined, and it is initiation phase. A solution to fixing that problem and approach to doing then has to be created, and it is planning phase. That plan has to be put into action, execution phase, while being tracked to make sure it does what it's supposed to. It is monitoring and performance phase, and the project is then deployed. Performance is evaluated, and the project is then over. It means closure phase. So we have 5 project phases. And a few words more about initiation. It's the first phase of the project management life cycle. Is all about kicking off a project with your team and with the client and getting their commitment to start the project. You bring together all of the available information together in a systematic manner to define the project scope, cost, and resources. And the goal of the initiation phase is to take a loose brief of a project and define it in terms of what it needs to do and achieve in order to be successful. And the usually necessities identifying the project stakeholders and making sure they all share the same perception of what the project is and agree on the business case, the problem that the project is trying to solve. It's during project initiation phase 2 that you decide whether it's feasible to deliver the business case. And key project management steps for initiation project. First, make a project charter. What is the vision, objective, and goals of this project? Second, identifying the high-level scope and deliverables and what is the product or service that needs to be provided. Conduct a feasibility study and what is the primary problem and its possible solutions. Ballpark the high-level cost and create a business case. What are the costs and benefits of the solution? And the last step, identify stakeholders. Who are the people this project affects, how, and what are their needs? And we have a few main roles in the project: stakeholder, project sponsor, project management, and project coordinator. And few words about each of them. So stakeholders are persons or organizations who are actively involved in the project or whose interests may be positively or negatively affected by the project. And the project management team must identify both internal and external stakeholders in order to determine the project requirements. And in other words, your project stakeholders are the people or groups who have something to gain or lose from your project outcome. And there are two main types of stakeholders in project management. We have internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders, these stakeholders are coming from within the house. Internal stakeholders are people or groups within the business, such as team members, managers, executives, and so on. And external stakeholders are, as you can probably guess, people or groups outside the business. This includes customer, users, suppliers, and investors. And As you can see, stakeholders don't always work for the a project manager. Needless to say, this can add an extra layer of complexity as you need to be able to communicate with people at all different levels of the business and with varying degrees of engagement, influence, and interests. And few words about project manager. The project manager's competence are key to success. The more comprehensive knowledge a project manager has, the easier it is to see signals that threaten to the success of a venture. They can be from the same organization or a different one, as is often the case with the vendor organization that was contracted to produce a set of deliverables. And a few tasks of this role. Responsibility for the implementation of basic project parameters as scope, budget, and deadline. Planning all activities, adapting to current implementation conditions, evaluation of performed works, and improvement of work performed contrary to the assumptions. Current documentation of work, and ensuring an efficient risk management system. A few personality traits: substantive qualification, ability to work in a team, leadership and managerial skills, knowledge of professional predisposition of and skills of individual team members. And few words about project sponsor. The project sponsor is a very important part of the project management organizational chart. In fact, every project has a sponsor. The project sponsor or executive sponsor is a person or a group of people at the senior management level. They are responsible for the success of our project and provide necessary guidance and resources to the project team and manager. And ideally, project sponsor provide high project sustainability, strategic plan, and successful implementation of the project objectives. The project sponsor sits above the project manager, and in most cases, the project sponsor is the one who advocates for the project and has been on board since day one. And here you see linked website with a personality test. You can take this test, a personality test, and get a description of who you are and why you do things the way you do. You can check what a project manager you can be in the future. Okay. A few words now about the project charter. A project charter is a final document of initiation phase. A project charter is a document that formally approves the existence of a project and provides the manager with the permission to obtain and use the organization resources for project activities. It is signed by the sponsor or initiation of the project. But real life is showing something different. Usually it is the project manager. And the author of the project charter should be the sponsor of, or initiation of the project, and the project charter should include elements adapted to the project management procedure in a given organization. And the preparation of the project charter means formal registration of the project, accurate determination of the project start point and its boundaries, and the possibility of formal acceptance of the project and commitment to implement the project by higher management. And here you see a few obligatory points of project charter. And if you have to make your project charter in your project, here you see a sample project charter template. And project initiation is the official start of the project. Defining the main goals of the project is very important. They should be skillfully formulated. And how to set project goal. The SMART method can be helpful in this task. SMART is a way to formulate goals. This is a way that increases the chance of their implementation. And as like a specific, the goal should target a specific area of improvement or answer a specific need. Measurable, the goal must be quantifiable or at last allow the measurable progress. Attainable, the goal should be realistic based on available resources and existing constraints. Relevant, the goal should align with other business objectives to be considered worldwide. And time bound, the goal must have a deadline or defined end. And okay, so this is the last slide of one of our lecture today. I have to stop right now. Just wait for next lecture, please. Okay, I am. I hope that you see this presentation. So now I will tell you more about only about organization structure and about requirements. I will tell you more at next lecture. Few words about organizational cultures. Most organizations have developed unique cultures that manifest in numerous ways. Shared visions, values, norms, beliefs, and expectations, precise methods and procedures, view of authority relationship, work ethic, and work hours. And project manager should understand the different organization styles and cultures that may affect a project. And example, who is a really decision maker in a company. And what is organizational structure? Organizational structure refers to the way a company or organization is set up. And it is usually defined using a hierarchy chart that show how groups or functional report within the organization. And for project managers, a company's organizational structure type will affect how resources are allocated to the project and will be a factor in how much influence the project manager will have within the organization. And there are three basic types of organizational structures: functional organizational structure, project-based organizational structure, and matrix organizational structure. And now a few words about the functional organizational structure. A functional top-down organizational chart reflects a traditional business structure. The structure shows the C site at the top, followed by other senior management, middle managers, and so on. The structure is divided into traditional departments like IT, marketing, finance, human resources, and operation based on everyone's functional role in the organization. In such an organizational structure, employees with a similar skill set and specialization are grouped together. And however, they often suffer from lack of visibility and communication with other departments. And employees realize their traditional duties and participate in a project team as well. Project manager does not have any additional privilege. She or he coordinates project team works only. And it is not effective way of project management because of problems with decision making and poor communication. And second is project-based organizational structure. Project organizational structure refers to the creation of an independent project team. The team's management is separated from the parent organization, other units, and have their own technical staff and management. Enterprise assign certain resources to project team and grant project manager of the largest free implementation of the project. And a few advantages of this structure. First, focus on this project team. Project manager is responsible only for the project, and the only task for the project members is to complete the project. And they only report to the project manager, avoiding the multiple leadership. Second, the project team's decision is developed within the project. The reaction time is very short. And the third, in this project, members work with strong power, high cohesion, and participants shared the common goal of the project, and individual has a clear responsible. But we have few disadvantages of this organizational structure. First, when a company has several projects, each project has its own separate team, which will lead to duplication of effort and the loss of scalable economies. And second, the project team itself is an independent entity. There is a clear dividing line between the project team and the parent organization, making the effective integration between project team and the parent organization. And third, the project team members' lack of business continuity and security once the project ended, return to their original functions may be more difficult. And third, organizational structure and matrix organizational structure. And we have three types of matrix organization: a weak matrix organization, and a weak matrix organizational structure maintains many of the features of the functional organization structure. And the role of the project manager is more that of a project coordinator. Their ability to make or efforts decision is low, and the most of the authority remains with the functional manager. And balanced matrix organizational structure recognize the need for a project manager. And however, the project manager does not have full authority over the project and project staff or project budget. And third is a strong matrix organizational structure and has many of the features of the project-based organizational structure. They have a full-time project managers and project administrative staff. And project managers has considerable authority over the project in this organizational structure. And the key challenge with a matrix organizational is that every employee has two or sometimes more managers they report to, and they functional manager at the project manager. If they are working or multiply project, they may have even more managers to report to. And okay, so that will be enough for today about requirements, because it's, I have so many information about requirements. I will tell you more about requirements at next lecture. So we end here today. Have a nice day and see you at next week.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.